Removing symbols connected to racism of the past is debated today by Caddo Parish commissioners. In tonight's top story, two commissioners proposed what they refer to as a multi-pronged approach. First, a public apology for what's called Bloody Caddo, and a proposal to remove a tree outside the courthouse where they say lynchings took place. Both motions failed to move forward, and here's more on why.
To learn about the trauma that our community has went through over a number of years was devastating to me, and I could see how it tied into what's going on today.
On the heels of Juneteenth, Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts introduced a resolution declaring for a public apology for Caddo Parish's history of lynching, which gave the parish the nickname Bloody Caddo.
As we search for our identity, it's imperative that we acknowledge from our hurtful past.
She joined fellow Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson in supporting the public apology, and Johnson made a proposal to seek quotes for removing a live oak tree outside the courthouse where he says lynchings took place.
This stuff should have happened a long time ago. You know, the removal of the trees, the statue, an apology. It should have happened way long time ago. But the people at that time did not have, I would say, the courage to do it.
The public apology did not pass during Monday's work session.
I know that everybody has a different view of things, but from my perspective, these types of statements push us further apart rather than bring us together.
The tree removal also failed.
Item does not carry forward. It has 3 in support and 5 in opposition.
Trees don't tie knots. Trees don't hate people based on their skin color. Taking out revenge on a tree because it's a symbol means that we are symbolizing something voluntarily when we could not. We could choose to forgive the tree.
Commissioner Todd Hopkins voting no, but asking for more public education.
Those things I can't see cutting down a tree. The tree didn't do anything, but I would say that there is an opportunity that why don't we take a display or something inside the courthouse and educate the public. Why?
It's a painful history. I don't believe it's our responsibility to attempt to eliminate everything that is embarrassing in our history. And we must acknowledge that it is truly man's inhumanity to man.
I'm sure that many people are not aware that those trees were used for lynching in Caddo Parish. And that is why we presented this as a multi-pronged approach. We're moving forward in one direction, and we have an opportunity to take a stance in all directions.
And Commissioner Gage Watts says she plans to introduce the public apology at a later meeting. There's also some debate about the exact history of the trees outside the courthouse.
She wants an apology from people who weren't even alive back when these so-called hangings happened on the courthouse yard. This is why Shreveport sucks, people. So let's read on the brief history of this courthouse. This is caddo.org. Since 1926, the Caddo Parish Courthouse dates back to 1926 and is set on approximately 2.5 acres. 2 previous courthouses have stood on this location, one of which was used as the state capital of Louisiana during the time of the Civil War. The present courthouse, built in 1926, was free of debt by April 21st, 1928. Renovations were completed during the 1970s. The courthouse is listed in the National Register of Historic Places. Surrounding landscape. The landscape consists of large live oak trees which were donated by Judge Thomas Fletcher Bell in the late 1800s. So these trees were saplings back then in the late 1800s. KTBS also did their own investigation. They contacted Equal Justice Initiative based in Montgomery, Alabama. According to EGI's records, there were 48 lynchings in Caddo Parish between 1877 and 1950. I got a photo. It's from a very rare magazine that was published back in the 80s. This magazine contains a photo of the Caddo Parish Courthouse yard back in 1949, 1 year before the last hanging was said to have happened. Take a look at those trees right there. Look at those trees. Back in 1949. Those trees are rather small. Those trees are kind of small, don't you think? Not saying that it's impossible to hang somebody from those trees, but those trees appear to be kind of small to be trying to hang someone. History is history. The past is the past. There's nothing you can do about that. Why do y'all constantly like to live in the past? Because that's exactly what you're doing. This story is ridiculous. It seems to me that the mayor and several members of the city council seems to me that they have a chip on their shoulder. What they're doing is that they're looking at the past, events that they can't even remember themselves. They never witnessed themselves. And they're using the past to play this game of get back, while at the same time, you're just destroying the city.
Trees don't tie knots. Trees don't hate people based on their skin color. Taking out revenge on a tree because it's a symbol means that we are symbolizing something voluntarily when we could not. We could choose to forgive the tree. We could choose to forgive the tree, to forgive the tree, to forgive the tree, to forgive the tree.